This is the account of William Thomas Howe's life, an unfortunate untimely passing. This is a case still unsolved, although Sussex police have invested hundreds, if not thousands of hours into leads that have not proven successful at finding and bringing to justice the person or persons who sadly ended a well-liked member of the community's life. William Thomas Howe, also known by friends and associates as Bill, was born in Sussex on the 26th of June, 1926. Although I can't find much information regarding his early life, I can say he trained and then worked as a veterinarian at the practice he owned, which was below his flat 48A Victoria Road in Worthing, a seaside town on the south coast of England. Many people in his local area recounted good memories about Bill. He was a well-liked member of the community, an upstanding citizen, and a very good vet by all accounts. He was recently bereaved a year previous to his own untimely passing, where he had lost his long-term partner and friend, who were both part of the gay community. On Tuesday, January the 9th, 1990, at 8 p.m, Bill was found deceased by a couple he knew. Mr. Peter Brown and his partner, who had taken over running the vet practice, had turned up to take him out to dinner. They had called the police when blood was seen on the walls of his flat and he couldn't open the back bedroom. A quote from Peter said, "The lights were on upstairs and we tried the front door and found it was unlocked, which was quite unusual because Mr. Howe was normally quite security conscious. There were a few objects disturbed in the hall and upstairs, as if there had been a struggle, and the walls were spattered quite liberally with blood. We looked in all of the rooms, trying to find Mr. Howe, but without luck. We found one of the doors was locked and then called the police. On first glance at the scene, Detective Inspector Ron Chillingworth said he found boxes had fallen over and moved them to one side and saw blood, and assumed Mr. Howe had injured himself and gone to the hospital, although sadly this was not the case. He was found by police lying face down on the floor of his back bedroom with his arms and legs tightly bound with electrical cords. He had been tortured before his death, beaten severely with fists and what appeared to be a hammer or a heavy blunt object. He had also been stomped on his back repeatedly, breaking his ribs. There had been no sign of a break-in, although another friend had been to the flat hours before the couple had found Bill, and the door was open. He waited in another room for his return, not realizing he had unfortunately passed away. In the days after Bill's death, forensics recovered fingerprints from the property, but none were matched to any suspects, although police diligently searched for the culprits. They also found 2 sets of footprints in blood at the scene, specifically in the make of Brooks basketball boots made in 3 models: Artillery, Arsenal, and Summer, and also Reebok ExoFit trainers. Some of Bill's jewellery, including a gold neck chain on which he kept his mum's wedding ring, were unfortunately never recovered. Mr. Howe was rumoured to have thousands of pounds in a safe, and police believed that this could be the main motivation for the murder. They ruled out homophobia very quickly into the investigation. Sussex police urged people to come forward, and Detective Hill said Mr. Howe's assailants will have undoubtedly returned home with blood on his clothing. Someone must have a good idea he was involved in a serious crime. Somebody must know who carried out this vicious murder. We would urgently appeal that that person contact us. Police also stated that they believed Bill had probably still been alive on Monday the 8th at 5:30 p.m. and a light-coloured Volvo Estate style 240 or 245 was parked outside his home between 5:30 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. People who knew him had a lot of very fond memories, including Mrs. Kit Davidson, who said to reporters for the Worthing Herald, "He was very gentle with the animals. I had great trust in him. I am very, very sorry at what has happened. He was very well known and liked. I'd just like to express my sympathy and shock." A longtime friend also said, "He was such a lovely man, a lovely vet. I'd known him for 30 years. This is absolutely tragic." Another woman from his surgery also stated, "Very caring for the animals and an extremely pleasant man. It seems amazing someone like that can become a murder victim." Mrs. Pat Townsend, a legal representative, set up a memorial fund for Bill after his death. His funeral was on the 8th of October 1990, 9 months after the tragic day of his passing. 70 mourners attended, and it was led by Reverend William Connolly. Sussex police followed many different leads. By the 10th week of the investigation, at least 1,000 people had been interviewed, but majority were eliminated from police inquiries, including the friend who had been in the property unaware that Bill lay deceased in the other room. Shortly after the murder, police offered a £10,000 reward for information, and it was featured on BBC Crime Watch, but unfortunately only received 10 calls regarding information. In 1993, police were trying to match fingerprints in the property on a piece of furniture and an ornamental Victorian writing box, and by 2000, a spokesperson for Sussex Police stated it has been possible to identify fingerprints taken from a number of items that came into the Howe enquiry that could not be identified at the time. It was revealed a match between a fingerprint and those of a man currently in prison for another offence. By 1994, 1,790 items at the scene of the investigation had been processed by forensics and logged. In January 2002, the Worthing Herald received a call from someone stating that they claimed to know who killed Mr. Howe. They said that the murder was linked to the death of an unnamed 83-year-old man who was pronounced dead on arrival at Worthing Hospital in January 1996. Police investigated, and this also unfortunately led to no arrests. The investigation has taken Sussex police as far as Australia, France, and Africa. Since William Howe's death in 1990, which is now 35 years ago, there have been thousands of inquiries the police have followed and an enormous amount of interviews. But unfortunately, this case is still unsolved. I hope Bill can be remembered as a kind, caring man, and I truly hope that one day his killers are brought to justice. If you or anyone know any information surrounding this case, please see the links in the description of this video and give evidence to the correct authorities.